Welcome to Strategic Darshan. In part 2, we will be analyzing the present geo-strategic situation in Afghanistan. We have Major General K.K. Sinha, who will be strategically analyzing the issue.
In this Afghanistan, when we are carrying out the geostrategic, analysis of that area and what is happening, the first part we have seen, it was basically a backgrounder, including the understanding of geostrategic location of Afghanistan and how in the region it's going to affect. We have seen that. Now, taking from there, now we'll come down to, and also the backgrounder I have given, the backdrop of which the present situation has to be read. The present situation is very scary now. When you take it from the February 2020, which I already brought it out, in the Doha agreement, basically the Americans came to the term that Al-Qaeda and ISI, they will not have anything once their relationship and they will, when they will come to the sharing of power, basically it is the sharing of power with the Afghan government. That is the time when the way the agreement looks like, that they will come in and share the power with it. But just after the Doha agreement, in spite of the fact that the talks were going on, the Taliban never abided with that. Or it was also agreed during that time that they will not carry out any actions against the allied forces, especially with the NATO, not allied, the NATO forces, and also with the Americans. But they abided with this particular provision, but they never stopped against the government forces. They carried on their offensive. Taliban never stopped. So they were the infringement. That was actually, they violated the agreement, but Americans, it looked like the Americans have got no choice. This is the time also, the period which we have seen, the transit of power between Donald Trump and Joe Biden coming. When the Joe Biden came and the deadline which was given of the 1st of May by which the Americans would leave of 2021, in the month of April, he extended the date, which was not liked by the Taliban, and that by the first, the anniversary of 9/11, that September 9, before that they will leave, and the date was now is working out to be they have declared is by 31st of August 2021 that they will leave and there will no one in the ground. The date was 9/11, or you say 31st August 2021, but all of a sudden something developed, and on the 2nd of July, the way the Americans vacated the Bargam air base, that is the start point, and the present situation must be read in detail from there. See, Bargam is 40 kilometers from Kabul, the seat of power, and this was one of the biggest base and the symbol of power of Americans and the NATO in Afghanistan. It used to be a city. It was developed like this base is more or less like a mini city where every McDonald's, you ask anything which is there in the Bargam air base. 10,000 troops, Americans' asset, huge asset. That was the heart of Americans, operations or the base from where they were carrying out. Even from 2014, when they in the land operations, they were not carrying out ground actions, but they were carrying out actions from this place. There is also an important place, which was 3 kilometers from the Pakistan border, in the area of, when we say, from the Pakhtun areas, 3 kilometers, that is their fire base. This fire base is also been vacated. And it is said that in more than 90% of the American forces, and including the Britishers, has about 700 to 800, they have also left. So a very small number has been left in the area of Kabul in the form of guarding the present government seat. and the Americans, who have been present over there. The 2nd July, when you say the Bagram Air Base, the way Americans, it is more or less like running away. And there are indications are there that they had the intelligence that the Taliban was planning and trying to concentrate all around to carry out some sort of actions at Bagram, and probably this is, it is coming from one quarter. That's why they have run away from there without informing, notifying anyone to that matter. Now, from 2nd July onwards, the situation is very fast developing. 85% of the total area of Afghanistan, now the Taliban is saying that it is in their hand. It is coming also through the international media. It is, their claim is more or less is correct. Out of 34 provinces and 421 districts, initially it was coming that more than 100 districts they have occupied, but 85% of they are talking about, which has to be verified because there is no rebuttal of this. But however, there is, the Afghan government is saying that rushing the forces into the border areas. The trading point, which is very important, which you can see on the map through Herat, which is going to Iran, because on this axis, maximum trading used to be taking place, and it was told that $20 million per month trade was going on, which the Taliban wanted to always have a control. And if you remember, the way the supply convoy was carried out, strapping by and destroyed by this Taliban, that time they were not actually claiming it, but the way it has destroyed, the whole world knows about it. So it has never been said, and now they have been taken over the trading point at Islam Kala, that area. They have taken the trading point which is going to Turkmenistan, the very important area. This is the time India is also, other than at Kabul and Mazar-e-Sharif, they are there. The Indian the consulate has been withdrawn from Kandahar. Kandahar in 1990, that was their headquarters. And we have seen the way, hijacking, when 814 was there, it landed in Kandahar. And Jalalabad, which is absolutely the east of Kabul, that has also, the consulate has been vacated by India. Now, the Taliban, the spokesperson of Taliban, who actually briefs the international media in English, he has been saying that they have invited China. Open invitation is there that China can come and invest, and the Taliban is waiting. It is a huge statement. They want the China to come and invest and carry out the development. At the same time, when the Joe Biden is addressed from the White House, he says that Americans have completed, American military has completed its objective and task, and we have not gone over there for the national building. See the contradictions. Now the Americans are saying, the NATO is saying, if I take it to NATO, because on behalf he is saying that we have not gone over there for the national building. We have gone over there for some military aim and we have achieved. Here, look at it, the Taliban is asking the China to come and carry out the construction works. At present, there is an indication for for Indians. We have, India has got approximately 3 billion worth of, investment in Afghanistan in the form of assistance we have given, which is a different than what the Chinese will probably, they have done it in Pakistan and they will do it in Afghanistan. A different pattern. We have gone all projects, 400 odd projects of ours. And those are all projects which is directly related to the people of Afghanistan. And the most symbolic is the the dam, the friendship dam, that has been damaged by Taliban, giving a direct indications. Um, so um, of course they are saying that you know Taliban is saying that they will still not abide, and they will not have a relation with Al Qaeda or other terrorist organization, that they are not showing openly, but that they will share the power with the present Afghan government. But what they have been looking at and giving the indication and hinting that probably they will have their own government, they will take over, and that is will be maybe Taliban too. They have given that the people and everyone talks about that this Taliban is different, but analysis says on ground that nothing has changed. And this is also many Taliban leaders are saying that there is nothing changed on ground. They become, last 20, 21 years, they must have learned how to handle media. They have learned how to carry out negotiation. They have learned how to have a political, wing of theirs where it is acceptable. A terrorist organization is now accepted willy-nilly as an organization which will form the government and rule the country. They, when they came in the first term of Taliban from 96 to 2001, they have declared Afghanistan as an emirate, emirate as of theirs. So I feel that very soon the Taliban will take over in a different form. They may be a more accommodative. They know that they make it a recognition, international recognition, which they have got. In some way, they will allow the present things to carry on, but they will have their own say, their own government. They will have their own economy. They will have the own the people. The way they feel that they will invite. And the people who are dealing, basically the NATO, the Americans, including India, will have a little space to do that. Now, I will quickly say what has been, country-wise, when you look at the United States of America, what they lost in 21 years. They $2 trillion, worth $1 trillion in one decade. This is what the rough indications are there. More than 3,300 odd, NATO forces. Out of that, 2,300 odd is your Americans soldiers who have died. But what America has lost a strategic space in this area, which they have done it, by design. And if the design is more deeper, because there is a realization that anyone who has come and try to mill around over there, they have lost. It was USSR when the Russians came and did it. For 10 years they were there, and they more or less they have to withdraw. Now you see a second superpower. That was the first superpower, and that Russia, USSR has been basically disintegrated because they're involved in that. The second thing, American, they have come, carried out, the second direct involvement for 21 years. They must have realized that, they can't do any. So, and even during this time, the Americans were trying that, that India should put the boot on ground. There was a lot of pressure from Americans that you put on ground, and very rightly the India has, got, be away from there. This strategic space, which they have vacated at their own, is very keenly being taken by the Pakistan and the America and the Chinese. Pakistan is helping them out. John Miller, if you have, and Khalijad, who is the actually envoy of Americans over there, they have been giving a hint that within the Americans goes within 6 months time, fully the Taliban will be entrenched. there is still, people are saying and wishing that, they share the power and some time of arrangement will come up. But in my mind, everyone knows, the whole world knows, everyone who knows a little bit strategy understands that, the time is up, and the time is this area. There is a shift which has taken place, which in which probably the people who are looking forward, they were waiting for this thing to happen. It happened much faster, and it happened in absolutely jiffy way. The Russia, that involvement with the Taliban has been there, which was, they have actually initially opposing totally Taliban, but the Russians have realized under Putin, and they want a strategic space over there, and that's why their engagement, they have invited the Taliban, they have invited even Indians to come to the Russia and have talk with the Taliban. But they have got a base in Tajikistan, and when we're talking about, this is the space, which is there in Tajikistan, they have got their military base, a huge base, which both the Chinese also are aware, the Americans are aware, we are aware. We have got also an air station which is being manned by the Indian Air Force over there. There is a secret mountain brigade which has, which the Chinese, they have not accepted it, but matter of the fact, it is there. When they were talking about the Pamir mountains, that is the time they have, and this is the present over there in Tajikistan. So Tajikistan becomes a very, very important, country, from where you will see that, something, if it happens for the controlling of Afghanistan, including the Wakhan corridor, if you see that area, if the Chinese develop something over there, because that is the area also the Chinese have got some problem of Uyghur, that militant organization. As on today, it has been, actually they have contained it into the Xinjiang region of China. But it may find, they have got also worried that, from Tajikistan, if something can come. So the China denies, but they have got a mountain brigade in this area. That is and this is their second military base outside the country. Russia looks at, the China, India from the perspective that they feel that the India's involvement is important. The way India has gone into the point of development, and they have won the heart and mind of the people of Afghanistan. They are there. But these are the tangible, these may not be a tangible factor, intangible factor, a soft power on which we are, and very rightly so, that we have not got involved ourselves there, because historically, and the people who understand the Afghan people, it is very difficult to carry out any military actions or hard actions over there. Now, coming down to China, I have already brought out, the Taliban has invited China to come and invest. China is already there. He's in the form of, they have won a lot of, the contracts. They have not gone full hog. They may be also scared, because they also are the very smart and intelligent people. They have also seen that Afghanistan is very difficult to do it. But if the space, because the BRI is the Xi Jinping project, and it is an enlarged BRI. One is through your CPAC coming to Godar, and one is, if it come through Wakhan to Kabul and go, then they will find a route toward the Central Asia, which will be a very, very important for the Chinese. They are looking forward. They will not only do Tajikistan or Turkmenistan, they will be able to go from there and build it up. And if they will do something, the Iran, which I will come to later, of their $800 billion assistance what they are talking about. So they will be able to have a technique shift of strategy point of view, a center of gravity will be shifting towards. And when we are talking about the Indo-Pacific area, this is a space, they are getting it, and they are very, very comfortably, without any fights, they are just occupying it. Now coming to the Pakistan, I brought it out, the Durand line, which is 2,670 kilometers long. It is all along the border between the Afghanistan. Historically, Afghanistan doesn't go well with the Pakistan. They have never been together historically. But Now they have, they have put a fencing. Pakistan has been with that because they are, very scared about it. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is basically, the your Taliban from the Pakistan side, because when you see the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, that Pathans are also there, and mind you, when you say in that area, in that area, even the present Prime Minister Imran Khan, he has been being called as a as a as a your Taliban Khan. He is being called. He has got his own special affinity, his own relations with them. Haqqani network, the Pakistan is very much, through with them. It started from there, and they have got a solid. Americans have not mentioned the Haqqani network into their agreement anywhere. They are very silent about it because they are actually very worried, but they are very silent about it. If something, will happen in the area, it will happen with the Haqqani network, which is being controlled by the Pakistan. China is going to depend a lot on Pakistan. Already Pakistan is with them, but now the Pakistan will get into terms. The China has told, to open up the 4 route time trading line with the, and they will probably, they want that, that is your 20 million per month, which is going to Iran. And this is why the Iran is worried about it. So that comes to, Pakistan, and that all Chinese goods will go there. The US was asking, the base in Pakistan. Pakistan has not given it. It is not even decided whether it is here or with Central Asian Republic or somewhere in the Indian Ocean region. No one knows about it. One thing, with the China, Pakistan, when I talked about it, the strategic depth, the Pakistan perception is the Pakistan is going to still have that feeling that Afghanistan is strategic depth. That is the point where the, Afghan is not, any Afghani is not very happy about it. Even the Taliban at one time, threatened Pakistan, not on this line of strategic depth, but, whenever the Pakistan has not, they have said that they will take over. So, see, the thing is, they will take over Pakistan. So, these type of threat is there, and they are highly capable of. So, the Pakistan has to understand, and Pakistan is very cautious, and especially Bajwa, when he says that, other than America is a very important partner. They have been saying, and he wants Imran Khan to have a equal assistance and bond-humming with the Americans. They don't want to leave it. As far as Iran is concerned, very important, and Iran is very important as far as from Indian perspective also. The Shia-Sunni divide, which the Republic Guard, which is actually the Revolutionary Guard of Iran, the way they have been carrying out the operations in these areas, it is known to everyone. Then they are also worried about Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. In the India's concern, Americans' concern, here the convergence, and Iran wants subside some sort of Indian presence over there or influence over there. The Chinese want to invest in Iran, and if the Iran is getting into their trap, is this Chabaha, which is basically a counteraction or a counterpart of the way the Godar is there. Is the Chabaha, as on today we are doing our business, the Chabaha, if the Iran wants to have a leverages, because they have to now this changes is taking place, whether this 20 million per month, the trading, it's shifted, Iran may shift its stance, and we may find that, the Iran will go whole hog with India. It might that the Americans, the way they are leaving it, and we will open up our economic activities in the form of oil with Iran, and we will have the same bonhoming. So we will be able to counter it in that way. So that works out as far as Iran is concerned. I bring it out very quickly about the Turkey. Turkey is the new player in that area. Turkey under Erdogan is very keen to get into the Pakistan and to get into the Afghanistan, and they have found Turkey is the Kabul International Airport operations and the complete running of that is going to Turkey. If that goes, and China is very key, Pakistan is very key, and probably it will go to them. Americans living over there, they will have the Kabul, especially international airport, that everyone, they will have their own way of running it, whether it will going to have some effect on Indians, it will have some effect to the NATO or the Western, and in spite of the fact that Turkey is the member of NATO, how it will shape, we will come to know after a few days.